At the state capitol tonight, there is bipartisan condemnation of the New York Power Authority, or NYPA, over its use of this plane to fly executives all over the state, sometimes to attend meetings or make announcements about climate change goals. Critics calling out the hypocrisy and also calling for accountability at the authority. Now, this came to light following excellent reporting from the USA Today network team here in New York. Today's article is titled, "New York's Leading Democrats and Republicans Blast NYPA for Flying Execs on a $7.5 million private plane." NYPA also has 3 full-time pilots making 6 figures each, which adds to the cost at a time when home energy costs are skyrocketing for New Yorkers. The top Democrat in the state Senate called this an unacceptable waste of money and told the author of this article, quote, "This must stop immediately." Meanwhile, her counterpart, Republican State Senate Leader Rob Ortt from Niagara County, told us today, quote, "NYPA rakes in millions of dollars from ratepayers in my district, which is home to one of the largest clean energy production facilities in the country. We shouldn't have to bear the burden of increased rates and pay for infrastructure upgrades while executives travel in luxury. The hypocrisy of NYPA executives is stunning." Blair Horner joins us tonight with reaction. He is Senior Policy Advisor with the New York Public Interest Research Group, or NYPIRG. Blair, it is always great to get your insight on these matters, and I want to start with just your reaction to the basics here, right? The fact that they're spending so much money on a private plane and the hypocrisy that's being alleged.
Well, you want public officials always to be squeezing every penny to make sure that every taxpayer dollar is being used efficiently. And flying around in a personal jet is not one of the ways that you do that. This is not the first time, by the way, the New York Power Authority's use of its airplanes have been the subject of scrutiny. That goes back for years. But certainly NYPA needs to focus on being accountable for how they spend ratepayer dollars. And flying executives around is not one of the ways to do it. And, you know, the criticism that at the same time as utility rates are going up and executives are flying around, you know, that looks bad. Not only is it bad, but it certainly looks bad.
What do you make of the fact that there is bipartisan condemnation here? I mean, basically lawmakers are lining up, no matter which side of the aisle they're on, to come out and say, we can't keep doing this.
It's painfully obvious that it's not the right thing to do, and so again, and the New York Power Authority has been, you know, the agency has been criticized for this in the past. This goes back to the Pataki years and the Mario Cuomo years. So using the New York Power Authority as some sort of cash cow for people to fly around is not the right thing to do ever. But in an era of rising utility rates and concerns about affordability generally, I think every public official should be making sure they're pinching pennies, even if pennies don't exist anymore.
Blair, you are always someone who is, you know, looking out for the interests of taxpayers, in this case of ratepayers, but you're also someone who believes climate change is real and that the state needs to take actions in order to deal with it. Do you worry that the fallout from this and NYPA being in such a negative light as it kind of leads many of the climate goals in the state, that could have negative repercussions on that effort?
Well, I mean, there's a well-financed effort by the anti-science crowd to undermine this New York State climate law. And by the way, the money for that comes from the fossil fuel industry that does not want to see us powering ourselves through solar and wind. So, yeah, I mean, it's getting used to some extent as leverage against the state's climate law. And the state's climate law is based on science because the planet is rapidly heating up, and the world's experts agree that it's driven by the use of fossil fuel by humans. We have to get off that. So, yeah, I mean, anytime something gets used as political football against science, that makes me recoil. But in this particular case, they shouldn't be flying around. We now live in the 21st century. People have heard of things like Zoom.
No doubt. In the 30 seconds I have left, Blair, tell me what should happen here. Should they just end this entirely, get rid of the plane, lay off the pilots, or is it just a thing of more oversight, or what needs to actually change policy-wise?
Well, certainly stricter oversight is the minimum that we should all demand. I mean, certainly it's a big authority. Lots of things are happening. You want to be able to have the staff or the executives, if necessary, get around to serious problems that might be occurring. But to have a fleet of planes with a fleet of pilots in an era of fiscal austerity is certainly not a good look. And unless they can justify 3 planes and 3 pilots, they shouldn't have them. But that's the key thing. They have to be able to publicly justify how they're using ratepayer money, or don't do it.
Blair Horner with NYPA. Great to see you as always, sir. Thanks.
Thank you.